Welcome to all sins and commandments alike. This is Griever, your guys' host as always, bringing you guys the latest episode review of Wrath of the Gods. Okay, so this one's a little late, guys. I know it. This was a little bit of a late review. Honestly, it's because, well, I think you guys know it. I think that the hype for this season and the main fight being as meh as it was is that even though we are into some of the best Taizai before its downfall, in my opinion, even though we're into some of the best stuff, the best material since basic bare-bones Season 1 stuff, this right here is just kind of like, okay, well, the animation still sucks. It's not a good adaptation. It's not doing well. They even, they barely squeak by with a passable best fight in the series. Everyone kind of went, oh, okay, maybe it'll go downhill from here. And honestly, the hype has almost completely died out. You can barely find anything about it or anybody really talking about it anymore. And I just had other videos I felt like making, other shows I wanted to watch, other things I wanted to do. So I did actually miss out on episode 16. Now, I am reviewing at this moment. Episode 17 is out. I just finished watching episode 16, so I will be watching episode 17 shortly, and I'll get that review out a few days from this one. So don't worry, I'll be back on track. Now, this episode overall was passable. Like, what was really bad? Nothing that hasn't been complained about now for 15 other videos. Bad stills, overuse of stills, terrible faraway shots, poor animation. It's all there. Okay? Fine dandy. We're not going to continue to beat a dead horse. What we are going to talk about here is the positives, but the things I didn't like from a narrative perspective. Things they kind of changed. I like the fact that they extended from the manga. They extended Chandler, of course, is still kicking all of their asses, right? Chandler's beating them back. He's going to wipe out the 7 deadly sins, and King Drole and Gloxinia show up, right, to save the day. And they actually manage to hold him back. They can actually escape for a time, the 7 deadly sins. They can get on, the boar's hat, and they can just, boom, they can go. And that's what they do. Some of the moments I felt were a little cheesy. They could have done them better, like the manga. Once again, this could just be a subpar translation and stuff as well. It might be actually done better than the English dub for once, right? But here, it just seems like there were some key points about this. They actually showed part of the battle between Drole and Gloxinia and Chandler. I don't remember that happening in the manga. Now, I didn't have time to fully go through page by page, cover by cover sort of idea, but I don't remember actually seeing, Chandler slashing Gloxinia and stabbing him and all this stuff. Same with Drole. I don't remember seeing that. So I think that was added, and they have these inner monologues as they're dying and stuff. See, it was different in the manga. In the manga, they tell these things to King and Deanne before they go to continue to fight Chandler by themselves. I think this is done for, I guess, the emotional impact, and I like it. I don't mind it. I just wish it had been extended more. And the music, the soundtrack when they first show up is some old classic OST Taizai. But why didn't they have it continue? Why didn't they have more of the same for their deaths? And the worst part is that all of a sudden their deaths happen and it's over. Like, they're building the emotional tension of watching them actually get beaten and slaughtered. Drole's arm, and I'm thinking, oh man, they're actually going to show it. They're going to show their terrible deaths. The limbs being chopped off, the friggin' stabbings, the blood. They're going to show it. This is going to be gruesome when I finally see the scene I was waiting for. And it does not happen. It does not actually come to fruition. Because they kind of just end scene, as though they ran out of time on a time card. Apparently, that happened to Madonna last week or this week or whatever, where I guess she was late to her concert, and it was like, okay, it's 10:59, it's 11, close curtains, and close the curtain on her and cut out the power. with a like a venue full of people. Like, okay, that's kind of weird, regardless of what you think about that, but apparently that happened. So I felt like that kind of happened right here. It was like, okay, we're extending this from the manga. And once again, that's the things you're supposed to extend. Make us feel more. Because the Drole and Gloxinia sacrifice was really cool. Came out of nowhere, but in a good way. And we really enjoyed it because right now there is nobody in the Seven Deadly Sins that can combat against Chandler. Escanor is useless right now. Not only is he recovering from his fight with Meliodas, but Chandler brings the knight with him. He can't actually fight him. And Meliodas is down for the count. There's nobody else there. As we saw, King and Deanne and Gotha are useless in this fight, and he bitch slapped Merlin like she was fodder. So right now, there is no one to stand in Chandler's way. So the idea of bringing Drole and Gloxinia into it was a good narrative point. I liked it, and the extension of the scene. But then, as I said, it just gets cut. After they kind of say their piece, we see them laying on the ground in a very bad shot. They don't even get a final good shot. And then, scene over, jump to the next scene. And that's it. That's it. And I'm sitting there like if you were going to do that, you should have built up the crescendo to the music, the musical number. Built it up, higher, and then boom, at the end, all silent, and all we hear is like the little crickets or something, or the lava pouring and stuff, and then all of a sudden it goes bang, 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 and we see like the devastation that Chandler has done to these two. In the manga, Gloxinia had his eye pierced, his wings torn off, he was a broken body of death. Drole had one leg chopped off, 3 arms gone, laying there in a pool of his own blood. It was pretty grotesque. It was pretty gruesome. Now, even if they didn't want to go that far with it, that was a better ending high note. Even though I feel like the anime tried to do something more with the scene, and I like that they did that, they fell short of an actual good addition by cutting out the key thing that made us go, damn. Which was the main highlight of the chapter when it happened in the manga. So that's unfortunate. They didn't even show a censored version of that. They just kind of showed them kind of lying there, spinning. They might still be near death, half alive. And that's it. And it's like, okay, that ended too abruptly, right? For me. The other half of the episode is simply, Chandler chases them down, but Merlin gets her power back. Escanor starts coughing. There's a lot of key things here. Gother's done for. Elaine is still weak. Bon is feeling useless. I mean, it's just a somber note. It's a very somber note. And Chandler shows up again, just basically in time for Meliodas to wake up. And Meliodas wakes up and basically says, all right, that's it. I'm done. Taking Elizabeth. Don't worry. I don't remember. I don't not have my memories. I know who all you are. I remember everything. You guys were my precious friends. And it's kind of like, okay, this is really weird. I didn't ever fully agree with this, but it kind of makes sense in the long haul of things. It's a bit of a nitpick. But essentially, he has all the memories, but none of the emotions to actually attach him to those memories. He's void of emotions. He just feels an obligation, a duty to break the curse on Elizabeth. It's implied, I guess, in the manga a little bit that he doesn't actually even love Elizabeth anymore. He's just doing this because he knows it's what basically bound by duty, promise, and obligation. That's the only reason he's doing this shit. He's actually lost, I would wager, about 99% of his emotions at this point, so nothing is keeping him there. He's just like, I don't want to kill you. You were my friends. That's his deadpan sort of emotionless voice, basically saying, I know who all you are. I know I'm supposed to feel something, but I don't. He wakes up, Chandler, down on one knee, like my king sort of idea, young master. And he's like, all right, taking the woman, I'm going to take the throne of the Demon King. That's the way I'm going to break the curse from Elizabeth. I will become the Demon King at the end of the day. I've been 3,000 years of this shit. I'm done. I'm going to take Elizabeth. I'm going to become the Demon King. And once I do, I'll have the power to break the curse anyways. So I'm going to do that. End of story. Now everyone's shocked by this. Everyone's like, no, don't do this. Elizabeth's like, don't do this and stuff. Chandler's not happy about him bringing Elizabeth, but he's like, I won't hear any complaints, Chandler. Okay. And Chandler's like, yes, sir. And they basically fly off to go see Zeldris. Now, the other key thing to note in this episode is Hawk has had enough of this. Hawk flies up to Meliodas in his little demon dragon form, whatever he's doing, and he's kind of like, you are Captain Meliodas of the 7 Deadly Sins, of the worst food tasting bar ever, the Boar's had. How dare you do this and stuff? And Meliodas basically says, and I forgot about this until this episode, it's also another problem now in the manga for anime-only people. I won't be spoiling anything that happens in the manga, but there's a bit of an issue with this, knowing what we know now, sort of, I guess, kinda, not really, but it's another nitpick. But anyways, point is that the Demon King has been watching somehow through Hawk's eyes the entire time. That's not creepy or anything. But where's the connection? How is this possible? All these things, all these questions we have, as in the manga, was like. And then here in the anime, if you're anime only, this is still a good point. They still did this scene justice where Meliodas grabs Hawk, looks him in the eye, and basically says, you watched us torture ourselves and do all this stuff. You must have had quite a laugh, didn't you, Demon King, watching us this whole time? And we see that clearly the Demon King, it's implied here that he is still watching right through Hawk's eyes. So, very interesting. That's basically where the episode ends. I wish they had gone on this a little longer. There are some tangents here. See, I can't really discuss the manga, just in case of anime-only viewers. I don't want to do too much manga spoiler-esque things. Minor things I'm not too worried about, but nothing major. So there's a few things that this brought up again that I kind of like to discuss, but I might make a live stream or a future video doing that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. The episode was okay. What did you guys think? It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just meh, right? It was average. It still had the same faults as the rest of the season has had, and once again, this story is manga bound, so you can't, like, if you read one of the chapters, you're kind of like, man, why am I even bothering watching this adaptation? The adaptation is supposed to bring the two things that the manga cannot do: music and animation. Those are the things that animes can bring: a stellar soundtrack and watching these fights mostly in beautiful animation. And they have basically failed to do this because they haven't even used the OST that we know and love nearly at all in this season. 16 episodes strong, and I can't tell you how many times I could have plugged season 1 OST into this and fixed the problem. Made a scene that was meh into, okay, 7 out of 10. I can increase the score just by changing the music. So, I don't really know what they're doing. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Like, comment, subscribe as always. This has been Griever with your Wrath of the Gods, episode 16 review. Hope I haven't been saying 15. I believe I've been saying 16. Anyway, it's episode 16. It's in the title card, all that stuff. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always. Have a good weekend. See you next time.